Do writers and artists tell the truth better than other people? It depends on the world from your point of view. And that's why I chose the Doris Day song, Que Sera, Sera. It says that what will be is found in the future that we see from our own point of view. So let's get started. I imagine many listeners heard this question asked by a grade school science teacher. If a tree falls in the forest and no one is around, does it still make a sound? Well, historians and philosophers can trace this question back to at least ancient Greece, whose philosophers conceived of two worlds: the physical, objective, external world of the brain, and the subjective, internal world of the mind. Back then, their science and technology didn't allow them to understand what biology and neuroscience tell us today regarding the mind-brain duality, which is this. The brain is an electrochemical processor that gets external input, processes it, and outputs emotions, which are the electrochemical responses, and feelings, which are how our mind interprets those emotions. Current neuroscience says we have 5 known senses for picking up input: sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. And sight and sound give us more sensory inputs than the others, which means that authors and writers, painters and musicians supply us with a wealth of information about the worlds we live in, but from an artistic point of view. I remember a quote from a famous writer who said, "Don't trust a fiction writer to tell you the truth about the external world. Their job is to hide it in the nuanced internal world of the mind." But he went on to say that fiction writers are the best at telling you the truth about human nature, which is the act of everyday living. That's one of the reasons why people love reading novels. Another is for entertainment, and a third is for information. So a clever writer uses words and sentences constructed to entertain while revealing information and meaning to our lives. And the same sentiment applies to musicians and painters. They use the vocabulary of their art form to engage their audience. I came across a book by Susan Cain, published 10 years ago, called Quiet, subtitled The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. And social media blogging makes it even more relevant today. The book begins by mentioning the Chautauqua movement, which is an adult education and social movement in the United States that peaked in popularity in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Chautauqua assemblies expanded and spread throughout rural America until the mid-1920s. By the way, Chautauqua is a word coming from a New York Indian tribe. Well, the book explains how people today can be divided into 2 groups: energetic and externally focused extroverts, and quiet, internally focused introverts. Artists and writers are found in this group. Of course, each of us might be a blend of the 2 types. Which one comes to the forefront depends on the setting or the context in which we find ourselves. If you take a Myers-Briggs personality assessment test, you'll find that introversion or extroversion is one of two preferred characteristics each of us have. The book describes what introverts and extroverts excel at. Extroverts are great in social settings, such as business and politics. They are forceful, optimistic leaders that others want to follow, especially when a crisis arises. Introverts are great at thinking things through and revealing through writing, painting, and music the hidden inner nature of the human condition. And today, society now understands better than ever that the world needs all types of people to make the most of what is offered. Young kids today are encouraged to pursue whatever their personalities lead to. And that thought will end this podcast. I'll find the right screen to close and we'll say thanks for listening and bye-bye until next time.